أهلا يا رمضان شرفت يا شهر القرآن.
Zayd and the Special Garden by Aneesa, Omar. Zayd sat attentively at his desk and listened to Mualima Fatima speaking. Tomorrow is the first day of spring, so we are going to do something special. We are going to plant our very own vegetable garden, insha'Allah. But to make it even more special, we are only going to plant those vegetables that are mentioned in the Quran. The class became excited and everyone began whispering. Sarah raised her hand. Yes, Sarah, asked Mualima Fatima. Why don't we plant the fruits and other edible plants mentioned in the Quran as well? Okay, that would be lovely, agreed Mualima Fatima. Then Muhammad raised his hand. Yes, Muhammad? What would we do with all those fruits and vegetables? I have an idea, said Zayd. We could give it all to the poor. Insha'Allah, said Mualima Fatima. Now let us start making a list of all those fruits and vegetables. Everybody, copy this table in your workbooks, and we will complete it together with the surah and the verse in which the plant is mentioned. The plants, fruits and vegetables mentioned in the Quran are the fig, olive, dates, grapes, pomegranates, cucumber, garlic, onion, herbs, lentils, banana, gourd, ginger, mustard, corn and grain. Now open your Qur'ans and start looking. Zayd raised his hand. Yes, Zayd? The fig and the olive are mentioned in Surah At-Teen, verse 1.
وَالتِّينِ وَالزَّيْتُونِ.
That's correct. Please write it in your books. Cucumbers, garlic, onions, herbs and lentils are all mentioned in Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 61, said Yasmin.
وَإِذْ قُلْتُمْ يَا مُوسَى لَن نَّصْبِرَ عَلَى طَعَامٍ وَاحِدٍ فادع لنا ربك يخرج لنا مما تنبت الأرض من بقلها وقثائها وفومها وعدسها وبصلها.
Right, let's fill that in. Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam loved cucumbers and he ate them together with dates. I am going to try that when I get home, said Hamza. Me too, chorused a few others. The learners quickly found the remaining verses and soon the table was complete. Very good, mashallah. Now if you look at the list, you would realize that not all these plants grow in this part of the world. So we won't be able to plant all of them, unfortunately. Ring! The school bell interrupted. Okay, everybody, please come early tomorrow morning. I'll have the seeds ready, insha'Allah. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam, said the class as they gathered their books and went outside. Zayd and Muhammad decided to look for the perfect spot for the garden. As they ran outside, Ja'far, the school gardener, was already preparing the soil for planting in the corner of the schoolyard. Perfect, they said together, and ran home excitedly to tell their moms all about the special garden. The next morning, everyone came early. Mualima Fatima had all the seeds ready, and small fig, pomegranate, banana, grape and olive trees that she had bought from the nursery. She had already labeled each row. Don't forget to say Bismillah before planting each seed. Everybody planted each seed carefully. When all the work was done, everyone washed their hands and sat in a circle under the biggest and oldest oak tree in the schoolyard. Mualima Fatima opened her Quran and read a few verses from the Surah Al-Waqi'ah. See you the seed that you sow in the ground? Is it you that cause it to grow, or are we the cause? Were it our will, we could crumble it to dry powder, and you would be left in wonderment. I never thought about that before, said Mustafa. Yeah, most people think that you just plant a seed and it grows. That's it, added Kamal. I think Shaitan makes us forget that it is Allah that controls all things, said Iman. It is good to hear your thoughts, children. Now we have to water the garden every day and put our trust in Allah. And insha'Allah, He would make the plants grow. Abdullah raised his hand. Yes, Abdullah? How long would it take for the first vegetables to be ready? Well, it differs, but we would probably have some cucumbers after about 2 months, insha'Allah. Then we'll be able to give it to the poor, exclaimed the children. Insha'Allah. But some plants take a long time to bear fruit. For example, the olives would only be ready after 4 years. What if we aren't here by that time? Asked Sina. And what if the other students eat the fruit or damage them? Asked Ammar. Let us put up a sign saying, for the poor and needy. Do not eat or damage, suggested Zayd. Good idea. Now let us get back to the classroom and make that sign, said Mualima Fatima. 10 weeks later. Alhamdulillah, the first cucumbers, onions and herbs are ready to be given to the poor, exclaimed Mualima Fatima. Alhamdulillah, shouted the children excitedly. So, tomorrow we will be visiting the poor people who live in shacks nearby, insha'Allah, said the teacher. I have an idea. Why don't each of us tell our parents to buy a loaf of bread and a bottle of milk, which we could give to a family along with the vegetables, suggested Salima. And we could all sort out our cupboards at home and bring some clothes for them as well, added Zayd. Excellent ideas, masha'Allah. Children, please think of any other ways you can help them, and we will meet tomorrow morning at the vegetable garden, insha'Allah. The next morning, everyone was bright and early at school. Asma's dad had donated some blankets as they owned a shop that sold blankets. Idris's mom had donated some soap and toothpastes from the general store they owned. Hanan's granddad donated some toys from his toy factory, and Siddiq's dad came along in his van to transport all the things. Some moms decided to come along too, and brought an array of freshly baked food. When the children from the other classes heard of this good deed, they wanted to join as well, but had work to complete for the other teachers. Don't worry, every grade will get a turn to help each month, Mualima Fatima assured them. Soon the surprise reached the poor people of the settlement. Oh, what smiles it brought to their faces, and some even shed tears of joy. The little kids were especially ecstatic with the toys they received. The old women were also pleased to hear where the vegetables were from. Insha'Allah, we will be back soon when the next lot of vegetables are ripe, said the children. As they walked back to the school, the children discussed how good it felt to help those in need. They also realized that they should be grateful for what they had, and most of all, they felt closer to Allah. That reminds me of a hadith of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you love the poor and bring them close to you, Allah will bring you close to Him on the day of resurrection, said Zayd. That is correct, replied Mualima Fatima. And there is also a verse in Surah Al-Baqarah, which will give you something to think about. It is related to both the gardening that we did, as well as charity, and goes like this. The parable or example of those who spend their substance in the way of Allah is that of a grain of corn. It grows 7 ears, and each ear has 100 grains. Allah gives manifold increase to whom He pleases, and Allah cares for all, and He knows all things. Allahu Akbar. The end.
أهلا وسهلا يا رمضان شرفت يا شهر القرآن